The UNC's general election campaign rolls into your community this Tuesday. Meet us 7 p.m. at Debe Junction, outside the office of the MP for Oropouche East. Come hear from a powerful lineup of your UNC candidates. Feel the vibe and energy as we get ready to win together. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
Now is the time to decide.
Debe.
When UNC wins.
The UNC's general election campaign rolls into your community this Tuesday. Meet us 7 p.m. at Debe Junction, outside the office of the MP for Oropouche East. Come hear from a powerful lineup of your UNC candidates. Feel the vibe and energy as we get ready to win together. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
Now is the time to decide.
Debe.
When UNC wins.
The UNC's general election campaign rolls into your community this Tuesday. Meet us 7 p.m. at Debe Junction, outside the office of the MP for Oropouche East. Come hear from a powerful lineup of your UNC candidates. Feel the vibe and energy as we get ready to win together. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
Now is the time to decide.
Debe.
When UNC wins.
The UNC's general election campaign rolls into your community this Tuesday. Meet us 7 p.m. at Debe Junction, outside the office of the MP for Oropouche East. Come hear from a powerful lineup of your UNC candidates. Feel the vibe and energy as we get ready to win together. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
Now is the time to decide.
Debe.
When UNC wins.
The UNC's general election campaign rolls into your community this Tuesday. Meet us 7 p.m. at Debe Junction, outside the office of the MP for Oropouche East. Come hear from a powerful lineup of your UNC candidates. Feel the vibe and energy as we get ready to win together. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
Now is the time to decide.
Debe.
When UNC wins.
The UNC's general election campaign rolls into your community this Tuesday. Meet us 7 p.m. at Debe Junction, outside the office of the MP for Oropouche East. Come hear from a powerful lineup of your UNC candidates. Feel the vibe and energy as we get ready to win together. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
Now is the time to decide.
Debe.
When UNC wins.
The UNC's general election campaign rolls into your community this Tuesday. Meet us 7 p.m. at Debe Junction, outside the office of the MP for Oropouche East. Come hear from a powerful lineup of your UNC candidates. Feel the vibe and energy as we get ready to win together. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
Now is the time to decide.
Debe.
When UNC wins.
The UNC's general election campaign rolls into your community this Tuesday. Meet us 7 p.m. at Debe Junction, outside the office of the MP for Oropouche East. Come hear from a powerful lineup of your UNC candidates. Feel the vibe and energy as we get ready to win together. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
Now is the time to decide.
Debe.
When UNC wins.
The UNC's general election campaign rolls into your community this Tuesday. Meet us 7 p.m. at Debe Junction, outside the office of the MP for Oropouche East. Come hear from a powerful lineup of your UNC candidates. Feel the vibe and energy as we get ready to win together. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
Now is the time to decide.
Minister of Works and
Debe.
Transport, the biggest corruption, and his Honorable Prime Minister used a very vile term. He said it was a rape of the country. I mean, that's a Prime Minister. I don't even know why he likes to use that word or what he knows about that word. But let me ask the Honorable Minister of Works and Transport if he ever heard of something called the Brian Lara Stadium. that was budgeted at $175 million and ended up at 1.3 billion. That was, the entire complex was budgeted at $850 million under the PNM to include a cricket stadium, 3 AstroTurf, a 50-meter pool, gym, cafeteria, hotel. And now the stadium alone, the average cost per seat is $130,000 US per seat. Every citizen that go there to watch a CPL match should look under their seat and see if they get a diamond ring from that PNM. And they're talking about corruption. What about, we still looking for the horse and them in Caroni Racing Complex? Where the horse and them? I want to put a bet. You talking about the greatest corruption? Caroni Racing Complex, over $200 million, when a million was a million. If you equate that to nowadays, like $1.6 billion, and not a horse run, a horse even canter. Bridgman's NGC Atlantic train won $233 million when everybody tell you don't spend no money, and you're talking about corruption. Scarborough Hospital, the financial complex, fake oil, just so. A man say, listen, I was producing 200 barrels a day, now I gone up to 12,000 barrels a day. Woo, they come and boast in the parliament. Well, if that was true with the fake oil, then their former senatorial colleague and Rowley's best friend should have been the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister's best friend, should have been given all the land acreage in Trinidad to drill for oil since he was so good. Why didn't, if it was not fake, if it was high performance, I believe in merit. If a man and his company and his technology is so good to increase the production on an oil field by 600, 800%, I say game all, because the people will benefit. And in the United National Congress, we are here about the people benefiting, not recusal, not ministers renting out buildings, not friends and family and financiers getting $55 million because a building not fit for purpose and then blaming the DPP. Project Pride, $400 million. Where the Pride? The river even moved. It was to move a river to put an airport. They had no airport. The river bend and the $400 million disappear. But they're talking about corruption. PNM really.
Senator, you have 5 more minutes.
Good. I can't talk about PNM corruption in 5 minutes. BWIA, Lock Joint, Mount Tope, Tesoro, Mosquito Crack, Skinner Park, $131 million to move a FIFA football field down to a small sweat. Napa, Sapa, Shaw Park Complex, Rapid Atapol. I nearly get asthma with that. Rapid Rail. That Honorable Minister of Finance was the Minister of Works and Transport during that period, when somehow the Honorable Prime Minister and member for San Fernando East, Patrick Mervyn Augustus Manning, was put on a plane, a Bombardier jet, and just so the Express found out where he went, how they fly, what he ate, and so on. And then there was something called Trini Train that was below Bombardier, but the Prime Minister went on a Bombardier jet, and boom, Trini Train Consortium came up to win. Do you know that Trini Train Consortium, part thereof, was paid $481 million for a feasibility study to say, boy, what the train, if it go move, what speed it should move, where it should pass, how it will go, should it go up or should it go down? $481 million. And this PNM government has the audacity to talk about corruption. What about the 4 vessels that they purchased when the Minister of Finance was then Minister of Works and Transport that never sail a day? And they spent $65 million to try and fix it. They all tie up there and 4 of them sink, one holding up the next 3. And then Iowa want to buy it. He win a tender, then they say nothing for you, Iowa. That is the PNM. Central Block. They finished a beautiful building. I must say the building is beautiful. Around the Savannah, the administrative complex for people who manage the healthcare system. Now, you can't get a Panadol. You can't get your oncology drugs. You can't get dialysis. You're sleeping in the hallway. When rain fall in the hospital, orderly taking nurse on the back and pushing wheelchair. But PNM built a beautiful building. Now, it has no parking, but it's sweet. It's lovely. But when you look past it, you look about 600 meters so, and you look up, you see a shell that the UDCOT chairman said will be complete by February next year, but nothing in it, just some red steel. that looks similar to the Steel by Balizé house, and they're talking about corruption.
At Debe Junction, outside the office of the MP for Oropouche East. Come hear from a powerful lineup of your UNC candidates. Feel the vibe and energy as we get ready to win together. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins.
Now is the time to decide.
Debe. Debe.
When you expect the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team. One hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team. One hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace. Vote for love. Vote for hope. Vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Thing. All right, folks, we are about to begin this evening's proceedings in about the next 1 minute. 1 minute, and we will begin this evening's proceedings. All right, folks, we're about to begin this evening's proceedings. All right, 2 minutes. All right, folks, at this time, we ask that you please stand for the national anthem. We ask you to remain standing for the prayer.
Pleasant good evening all. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Almighty God, most beneficent and merciful, the embodiment of knowledge and light, we give you thanks and praise. Let your will be done here in our nation as it is in heaven. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace and courage to always do what is good in your sight, and protect us as we stand against injustice and inequity. Guide us, O Lord, as we fulfill the purpose that you have set for us, and grant that we may always work together with humility and respect. Inspire us in our endeavor to find the right solutions to problems that are affecting our fellow citizens for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country. Amen. Amen. Om Shanti.
Please be seated. UNC family, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yes, want to thank the members of the TTPS as well as members of the media and the entire support staff for making it happen here this evening. And I was at home late last night watching something, I don't know, I can't remember, but the text came through, the WhatsApp message. Come tonight, do some miking for me. That was it. I learned two things there, what I've always known. Number one, words are useless when action is needed. And two, when the lion roars, every other animal in the jungle will have to listen. And you listen. This is the home of whom? The whom? And the lion will indeed roar tonight. Make some noise for the Oropouche East MP, our host, Dr. Roodal Moonilal. And why you're here, because some people will still want to know, I don't know if perhaps they weren't around for the last 9+ years. But it's simple why we're here. You see, some people will reject change because they're happy with where they're at. They're rejected because what they choose is what they intend to compromise when it comes to living. But we as right-thinking patriots, we the UNC understands that we are not going to accept it. We will reject it outright. We have had enough of these taxing, lying, thieving, bullying, baby killing government. We've had enough. And so we are not here to condone that. We are here for change because we will not accept this anymore. No longer can we go and hope that our nest egg is returned and the little money that you were saving to send the children for higher education, that gone. When last you had a debit or a credit card transaction and you didn't pray before you did it, hoping that it goes through. And that's the pain we've been going through. The pain. You go to the supermarket and you play the game. The game is called I Forgot. You didn't forget. You were surprised there would still be money left over. So you run back and act as though you forgot that piece of cheese or you forget to pick up that flour. This is the shame and the reality we've been living. And while that is taking place, people there having ham, lamb, and jam in ivory towers had the audacity to tell you they don't want their money to sleep out. For the last almost 10 years, we money sleeping out. It's sleeping wherever, but it is sleeping with us. Enough is enough. Come April 28th, understand there'll be a new government, the United National Congress, led by Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Our first speaker for this evening is a bright young man. He's our UNC candidate for Naparima. UNC family,
Junction. Good night, my UNC family. My UNC brothers and sisters. Are we ready? I know I don't sound like my brother Anil, but I'm going to use one of his infamous lines. Look at people! It's our people as far as you could see. I think I have seen somebody on that roof. I had to check my glasses. First, I would like to recognize and thank the only undisputed, elected, beloved leader in today's landscape of politics, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Senior Counsel. Deputy political leaders, Mrs. Jolene John, Dr. David Lee, and the man whose constituency we are currently in, the lion himself, one of my mentors, Dr. Roodal Moonilal. I saw numerous senators, too many to name individually, MPs, council chairmen, and councillors, invited guests, and my UNC brethren, all other protocols observed. It is my distinct pleasure to speak with you all tonight. I must thank Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa for giving me the opportunity to be the UNC candidate for the great constituency of Naparima. You see, I care, you care, UNC cares. My brothers and sisters, we are often asked, and not only in the campaign trail, we are often asked this question on a daily basis. Why the UNC? The answer is very, very simple. UNC is guided by the following principles. People-centered development. That means getting people back to work. Replacing the 50,000 jobs that were lost in the last 10 years. UNC is pro-business. We will stimulate the private sector and encourage small, medium, and large businesses to generate employment and, more importantly, investment. This, if you remember, is one of the most important of all the factors of production out of land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, where business opportunity is paramount to encourage consumer confidence. UNC is about building resilience. It's about economic reforms, investment in rainy day funds, putting your money, the people's money, in the hands of the many and not just the simply chosen few. Uprooting corruption and improving the ease of conducting business would lend itself to stimulating growth and enabling whatever funds we have left when the UNC gets into government is well spent. Because you know what we might well find when we reach in government? We might find an empty treasury, an empty room. We would give you more bang for your buck. That's what the UNC is about. UNC is also about building local content. We understand that a top-down approach does not always benefit the people who need it the most on the ground. The UNC knows and has always embraced the qualities of equity and equality. UNC believes in sustainable plans that not only promote good environmental practices, but ensure that smart targets are used and proper outputs and outcomes are monitored and properly evaluated. The UNC believes their fair share under the proper legislative frameworks and not just seemingly targeting the small man on the street and ignoring the big boys in the ivory towers. Diversification into different economic zones would enable us not to put all of our eggs in one basket as they did with the Dragon Gas deal. Innovation with guided tertiary education, and I see Dr. Gopi Singh in the audience there. We can all give him a round of applause because he was one of the persons that led the education ministry in 2010 to 2015. We in the UNC, we believe in embracing the use of technology. Our leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, has always been visionary and provided laptops. Do you all remember? She provided laptops to our SCA students, giving them the best chance to cope with a changing environment and the use of technology. But the program was cut by a visionless, vicious PNM. Now, many of you all will know that I'm a medical doctor. One of the best definitions of health by the WHO is that health is a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. If we sub-analyze this carefully, taking out the individual components, let me put it this way. I ask the audience this. Transport yourself to a period just 10 to 15 years ago where the UNC was in government. We were in a much better, healthier state. Physically, the health system is overburdened. We have more admissions to the hospitals. We have more chronic diseases. The burden of chronic disease to our health system is onerous. And there are several bureaucratic policies that are frustrating the will of the people and access to care. More patients and not enough staff is a recipe for disaster. Mrs. Bisesa has already outlined her plans to improve staffing, increasing the primary care delivery to target the chronic diseases by increasing the health center hours and by letting doctors do home visits for the necessary patients. She has also outlined dealing with the number of dialysis patients, ensuring that they receive the appropriate care in the public health system so they don't have to run to the private place and fork out their money to pay for the expensive dialysis processes. These are just a few plans. If I had the time to elaborate, I could spend hours on these topics alone. Mentally, suicide, depression, bullying, and substance abuse levels are high, and they are affecting all levels of society, especially our adolescent population. Remember, guys, the adolescents of today, our adults of tomorrow. Plans are present to take these individual concerns and will involve all of the relevant stakeholders in the community and not just be a blanket program or a fictional one cure for all or one shot cure all as some doctors do. Socially, the average citizen feels that they are under attack due to scourge of crime. The closure of many small businesses has not only cut jobs, but in some cases, literally, has taken the food out of the mouths of children because of or underemployment. The disconnect between the haves and the have-nots, or in economics, the concept of measuring the Gini coefficient would show the massive inequality that is present today as opposed to a mere 10 years ago. Now, when it comes to my constituency of Naparima, a lot of this applies, but we have a few other concerns as well, unique to there. My mantra, as is all in this great party, is to serve the people. Serve the people and serve the people. My job is to showcase Naparima, expound on our jewels and fix our flaws. Generally speaking, on some of the key issues, there are infrastructure, roads, drainage issues, utilities, access issues, educational opportunity difficulties, and predial larceny. That's just to name a few. Time would not permit me to name all of the concerns here tonight in the constituency, and I would do so in future speeches. I spent, now a little about myself. I spent a few of my formative years at Naparima College, and I hope to spend my productive years making the people of the constituency of Naparima my persons to serve. Thank you. I understand that an important rule rather, of being an MP is to be present. And you all could just understand that, because present is part of representative, and that's what an MP is, a representative of the people. Let us all work together with purpose to win the election and return Mrs. Kamla Persad Bissessa as the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Remember, when UNC wins, everybody wins. Good night and God bless.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody.
A round of applause, please, for Mr. Narendra Rupnarayan. Let me, of course, say a pleasant good evening to those who are present here, our MPs, our councillors, our members of NATEX, and, of course, our activists. Good evening. You know, they say that form is temporary, but class is permanent. And today we were witnessing that firsthand. Let me say a special good evening to Mr. Rudinath Indar Singh. Up next, a man that they label the Oropouche West Viper, the Viper. When he sticks his fangs into them, he doesn't let go. Poisonous, dangerous, strategic. He's the chairman of our beloved party. He is the MP for Oropouche West. He is our shadow minister of finance. UNC family, please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Dave, the Viper, Tanku.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Everybody wins.
Good night, Oropouche East. Straight down to business, ladies and gentlemen. Good night, good night, good night all. Political leader of the United National Congress, members of the executive, other members of parliament, senators, constituency representatives, councillors, all again, a pleasant good night. My brothers and sisters, I also wish to shout out members of the OWTU and the PSA, because as you know, the UNC is growing and growing and growing. Ladies and gentlemen, I have news for you. Change is coming. The cleansing winds of change is blowing across our nation, and on the 28th of April, 2025, you will have the chance to breathe again. A chance to rescue our country from the decade of devastation and open thieving that this hateful PNM has caused our country. You will remember, ladies and gentlemen, during the period 2010 to 2015, under Kamla Prasad Bissessar, we saw economic growth, prosperity, social development. We saw help for single mothers with the baby grant. We saw the Children's Life Fund help hundreds of children. We saw laptops in schools. We saw police stations, community centers, schools, preschools, a university campus right across the road, highway networks under construction. You will remember, ladies and gentlemen, the amount of small and medium-sized businesses, the amount of small contractors, small machine shops, clothing stores, people selling all kinds of foods, not just here in Debe, but throughout the country. As a nation, we were developing. And then came that Baldize storm. That storm cloud like a blight infecting Trinidad and Tobago, robbing you of opportunities, bringing with it runaway crime, high food prices, mass unemployment, and my brother mentioned it before, unemployment, people with skills and training in everything from medicine to academics to welding and fabricating, not able to find a job. And we know that because we feel that here in South Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago, you would remember I coined a phrase called geographic discrimination. You all remember that? You know what that was? That is when a government sits in Port of Spain and closes their eyes to the suffering that exists in South Trinidad and Tobago. South Trinidad in particular has been victimized by this PNM government, all the while they take our blood, all the while they take the energy, all the while they take the oil and gas from this part of the country to feed the north. We have been abandoned. So I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and a joy to be here tonight, to join with you at Debe Junction, in the den of the Lion of Oropouche East, and to share an evening with you, ladies and gentlemen. An evening in which we come together as concerned citizens who believe that together, the people of our country can move forward. Together, the people of our country have the power to change our collective despair to hope. Together, the people of our country can lift our communities, lift up each other, and once again did as we did in 2010 and lift up our beloved Trinidad and Tobago. And let me share a secret with you, ladies and gentlemen. It's an open secret right now, because the PNM has been shouting to the hilltops that they caught us. We were not ready. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? Well, let's get ready to rumble, because soon you will have the chance to put a new government in place, and we depend on you, ladies and gentlemen. You have no idea how many thousands and tens of thousands of persons who do not come to meetings like this, but will tell you when they meet you that they are praying for the day when the United National Congress will enter the corridors of power, will enter the government, ladies and gentlemen. So don't be distracted by those who are joining the PNM or fighting to divide votes, your votes, to give the PNM a chance. Don't get distracted by them. You see, the PNM brought you, good people, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, to your knees, battered and bruised, and anybody supporting that kind of conduct, any one of them is unpatriotic and should be rejected completely. But the media likes to talk that talk, because you see, when we are talking about this politician and that politician fighting each other, we are distracted from the real issues facing this country. I don't have to convince you that this country is bad, do I? I don't have to convince you that this country has been deteriorated in every single social indicator. And you all know me. I can come here and recite figures whole day and whole night for you, you know. I can tell you about the GDP, I can tell you about the money supply, I can tell you about the worsening crime situations, I can tell you the foreign exchange crisis and the foreign exchange cabal that prefers certain people. I can tell you about all of that, but these are facts you already know. Not so? You know that in this country we catching our literal nenen. And while we are doing that, Mikey K said it earlier, while we are suffering here, some of them up north sit down in the ivory towers eating lamb, ham, and jam and telling you ride bicycle to go to work and don't eat macaroni pie. That is hypocrisy. And that is why we must get rid of the PNM for once and for all. 39 seats in Trinidad and 2 seats in Tobago must come away from the PNM and into the government of the United National Congress. So I stand here, ladies and gentlemen, to give you a little reminder, that the UNC has been the only party in the last decade and for the last umpteen years that has stood the ground, stood and fought against this wicked, evil, corrupt PNM government, stood and fought for you. The UNC is here to fight for you, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. We are here to fight for you. I am here to fight for you. Are you ready? Are you ready to rescue your country, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready to save your children's future? Well, we are fighting a war, ladies and gentlemen. In Hindi, it is called a Dharam Yudh. It is a righteous war. It is a war that we fight to bring back dharma to our country, to bring back righteousness to our country. And to do that, ladies and gentlemen, we have to rid ourselves of the blight of the PNM. And this is a war that we must win. And this is a war, ladies and gentlemen, that we will win. The other side will stop at nothing to stay in power. You all know that. They are desperate to stay in power so that they could corrupt all the lacquery and the bacchanal that they have been doing, all the monies that they've stolen, all the $5 billion per year that the procurement regulator said was given to PNM contractors by PNM ministers. They're anxious to cover up all of that racket because while they're running racket and eating food and living large, you all are suffering. You know what it feels like to go to the hospital, stand up in line, and they tell you now that they can't get a test because the equipment not working. Or you can't get medicine. Panadol you can't get in the hospital. When we raise it in Parliament, the Minister of Health, Mr. Terence Dial Singh, quick to cry and lie. Because for them, everything is a joke. But we're suffering here, ladies and gentlemen, and that cannot be acceptable. You have the chance, ladies and gentlemen, soon to make a difference. Let me remind you, everybody here, fight now when you're going home tonight, what you're going to meet. Not so? Everybody in this country, man, woman, and child, is petrified of the effect of crime. But you know why crime is so high? It doesn't take science. The police service is under-resourced. They have 1,500 less policemen than they're supposed to have. 1,500 policemen less than they were supposed to have. So who's supposed to catch criminals? Policemen in these areas don't even have vehicles to go anywhere. The DPP's office, when they catch them, the DPP office have less than half of the staff they're supposed to have. So who prosecuting the criminals? Our borders are wide open. Anybody could come and go as they want. We had an oil barge that sank off the shores of Trinidad. That halfway destroyed the whole economy of Tobago. And you know, up to now, not one person has been held for that. You think you could do that in the States? You think you could do that and get away in Canada? Their radars will pick it up. Not here in Trinidad. Because you see, for criminals to live like that, the government must be close their eyes, close their ears, tie their own hands, and watch and see what's going on. The reason crime is as high as it is today is because this government is facilitating the crime. I've said it on a national platform. It's all outside there. I look forward. I have very, very good lawyers, Saddam. Very good lawyers. This government is facilitating the crime wave that is taking place in this country. Every single citizen that has been affected by a criminal, this is because of the People's National Movement government. And don't get chained up that they changed the minister, you know. They had a minister of national security like Kumkaran. He's sleeping whole day and whole night. When he come in the parliament, he's sleeping away so. When he wake up, he turns so and sleeping again. Kumkaran, ladies and gentlemen, are blight to this country. Just the other day, we had an incident. We'll come back to that. Right around the corner here, we have a fire station that the UNC built. Right around the fire station, right around here. You know, 10 years after we built this station, they put a fire tender here. 10 years afterwards, it is as if the minister, the prime minister now, and the minister of national security then just have bad mind. Because he capsized the tail across there and Karma don't sleep. Karma don't sleep. God don't sleep, you know. Because he fell down across in the penal police and the penal fire station. It's like he decided to victimize the fire station and all earlier. It's not we fault that the man short and can't see where you're walking. It's not our fault that he blind. He blind, that he fall too. I think he should come down here. We have plenty pundits down here that could give him an ajari. Because he really need a ajari. And he don't need puja, you know. He need a whole yag. Talking about that gentleman, you ever realize how often Stewart went to Venezuela? Saddam, what was it? 13 times, 14 times? 15? That man spent more time in Venezuela than he spent here. And what he come back with? The dragon gas deal. Dragon gas deal. This man, they sent to negotiate the dragon gas deal. He can't negotiate nothing. He can't negotiate. You know how they like to negotiate in the Indian fair? This man will go to the Indian fair and end up spending more money than the price that the people quote. Because he cannot negotiate, and that's the man we sent to negotiate. Let me prove it once more. One mission this gentleman had. One mission. They sent him to Jamaica. He went to Jamaica with one purpose in hand, and that's to seal the dragon gas deal with Secretary of State Rubio. One purpose. You know what he come back with? You think he come back with dragon gas deal seal? No. We come back here, and as again things got worse than they were. We end up with a level 3 travel, U.S. travel advisory. You know what that means? Level 3 travel, U.S. travel advisory means that the U.S. government is now telling the citizens to reconsider travel to Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine the U.S. They have crime in the U.S. too, you know. They have drugs in the U.S. too, you know. There are real issues in the U.S. too, you know. But they're telling their citizens it's safer to stay home in their country than to come here because of crime. That is what Stuart Young has gotten. He gone there and he come back making things worse again. I don't even want to start to tell you about how bad that will affect our foreign exchange. But I have a few seconds in. They build an airport in Tobago to facilitate 3 million passengers annually and 1,000 passengers per hour. An airport just built, couldn't remember the figure, he lied. He called a figure, and then when we call him out on it, the figure increased by a bit, 10 million or $100 million. Because court members is a liar. Yeah, say it on TV again. Charge me, bring the court. So they built an airport, big airport. But who come in? The U.S. travel advisory is telling people, don't come. Our biggest trading partner, the country that sends the most visitors to Trinidad and Tobago, telling their people, don't come. But we build an airport for them to come. You know what else worse than that? We are training people for jobs. That's what the government will come to you to boast about. They're training people to jobs. So where are the jobs? What they're training you to do is to learn how to make sweetie, to learn how to make sugar cake, to learn how to make Benny ball, to learn how to make balloon toys. But who is selling that to? Our UNC government, ladies and gentlemen. Our UNC government used to give you proper jobs, permanent, well-paying jobs, 55,000 new jobs in 5 years. This government take that away, 65,000 jobs in a decade. But ladies and gentlemen, there's hope. There's hope, ladies and gentlemen. We have a chance. We have a political leader that has already signaled where this country should go. So let me tell you how we plan to save the economy. Job creation by incentivizing companies. Lower corporation taxes over the next 5 years. We are going to remove the property tax, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to attract investment by deregulating and simplifying the process for environmental clearances. We are going to pursue double taxation agreements. We are going to enhance the procurement legislation. We're going to improve the road infrastructure and transportation costs, improve the efficiency of customs and excise. Ladies and gentlemen, I have hundreds of ideas here. Hundreds of policy issues, plans and policies that the United National Congress has. We have been giving this to the government for the past decade. You mean they couldn't follow one? I challenge you here tonight and the viewing audience, I challenge you to find one thing that this government can claim that they have done for the benefit of this country. Not one thing. They built a hospital in Port of Spain, a branch, one block of a hospital. They furnished one floor of that hospital until they're done. A practical completion opening. Is that right? Finish or I finish? When the UNC was opening hospitals, we opened finished hospitals. You walk in and you can get medical attention one time, you can get tests one time. With them, as soon as the closing of the hospital finished and the media left, they had to carry back the bed they borrowed from Arima Hospital. They have to carry the extra machine that they borrowed from San Fernando Hospital. That is how they open things, ladies and gentlemen. It's a set of racket. But we know what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen. I have plenty more I have to say. Plenty more. But I'll tell you this. There are many more who will come before me and after me. There's many more times during this campaign when we will reach out and touch you. Tonight, from this platform, ladies and gentlemen, I want to urge you to come out and vote. It is not enough to just sit down and wait and hope, ladies and gentlemen. If you do not vote, you are guilty as giving the PNM the vote. You are accepting a status quo. You are saying that, you know what, this 10 years of hell and trauma, this decade of depression and frustration, we are accepting it. Do you accept that, ladies and gentlemen? Are you going to come out and vote on the April 28, 2025, ladies and gentlemen? And are you going to come out and vote for a change? Are you going to come out and vote for the United National Congress? You see, ladies and gentlemen, elections have consequences. For the last 10 years, we have been living with the consequences, and we know now what we must do then. What must we do? We must vote for the United National Congress. We must vote to put Kamala Persad-Bissessar back in government. And here tonight, as I am here in the presence and on the invitation of my host, we must vote to ensure that Oropouche East returns to the line of Oropouche East. We must vote, ladies and gentlemen, to ensure that 39 seats in Trinidad move away from everywhere else and come to the home of the rising sun. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much. May God bless you all.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad goes.
Folks, another round of applause for the man, the Viper, Oropouche West MP, Dave Tanku. And the driver of PDE 6749, you're blocking a driveway. PDE 6749, you're blocking a driveway. Mr. Tanku is correct. We can't just be observers of injustice. We have to participate. You know, a critic is the one that comes after the fact and say on the battlefield and said, you should have used this, you should have used that. No, we don't want any armchair politicians, no armchair critic. Get in. Get in. That's right. I go into the voting booth bareback. I want to dip my whole body. I just want to get rid of them. Hey, at this point, we call up a young man who is just as venomous. He doesn't hold back. Especially when you see him, of course, going on at the media conferences. He's the MP for Barataria San Juan, and he's our UNC candidate for Barataria San Juan once again. He's an attorney and a man who advocates on the rights of the people of this country. UNC family, please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Saddam Hussein.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad goes. Everybody wins.
Good evening, UNC family. Tonight, just excuse the voice. Just excuse your voice. I have a little sore throat. But all will be well. The Lekoto Jambi can't catch me. The Lekoto Jambi can't catch me. Oropuch East, let me hear you. UNC family, let me hear you. When UNC wins. When UNC wins. When UNC wins. On April 28th, we are going to vote out the PNM and make Kamla Persad Bissessa the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Tonight, I want to acknowledge all of my colleagues from both the upper and lower houses of Parliament, those officers of the National Executive, former officers of the National Executive. But tonight, I want to pay special acknowledgement to our brother, MP Rudranath Indar Singh, the former member for Cuba South. And today, MP Indar Singh has shown magnanimity and he has shown unity within the United National Congress. And that is what we have right here, because Kamla Persad Bissessa has been that magnet of unity that brought together all of the coalition of interest in this April 28th general election to sweep the PNM out of Trinidad and Tobago. No seat is safe for the PNM. Not a single seat for them. We must get rid of them. Tonight as we gather, we are at the crossroads of history in Trinidad and Tobago. And since I born, I hearing that this is the mother of all elections. But I want to tell all you, 2025 is the mother of all elections. This is it. If all you think Crowley was bad, Stuart Young was. Stuart Young was. You see, when the UNC wins, we have policies that when UNC wins, pensioners win. When UNC wins, young people will win. When UNC win, the police officers will win. And when UNC wins, healthcare workers will win. And most importantly, when UNC wins, all of the citizens will win. All of us will win. We, on April 28th, must stop this dictatorship. We must stop it. Could you imagine they appoint a man who never get a vote to be the Prime Minister to have a salary of $87,000 per month and a pension of $87,000 per month for the rest of his life? We must stop that. We must go to the polls on April 28th and remember that when we were in power, we raised the old age pension. What them do? Them giving themselves $87,000 a month. We must get rid of the PNM. We must get rid of them. Look, it have a doctor, Dr. Joel T. Loxing. The man talk out about the hospital. The man said they open a hospital where they call it Central Block. That's a big project, Central Block. They open the 5th floor and the lobby. And I think Dave mentioned it. You know what they was doing? They was borrowing hospital equipment from all over the place. So they trolley an X-ray machine, they bring 2 beds from storage, they take out the plastic and so on. When they cut the ribbon, they put back the plastic on the bed and send it back again, in storage. That's what them fellas doing, And they feel like they could fool people. They have said they open a hospital, they cut big ribbon. Not a patient could go in that hospital tonight. Not a patient. Again, big project, they want to build an airport in Tobago. You know, all of them fly from Trinidad to go to Tobago to cut the ribbon, and they can't land on the airport. None of them, they could not have landed in that airport. They will not be able to fully functionally open that airport anytime soon because they are an immense failure. What have they done for the last 10 years? Nothing. I can tell you in 5 years we built 123 schools under Dr. Kim Gopi Singh and Kamla Persad Bissessa. Dr. Roodal Moonilal, your own MP, the Lion, was giving out 100 houses per week. 100 houses. Under Dr. Lacrambodo, they were able to finish the San Fernando Teaching Hospital and the Cuba Hospital that they refused to open. We have shown a track record in 5 years, and they have shown nothing in 10 years. They have shown nothing. We must get rid of this dictatorship. And Stuart Young is saying that he wants an opportunity to be Prime Minister. Well, he was doing something in front of the mosque yesterday. I don't want to go down that road. But it was totally disrespectful to the Muslim community. Totally disrespectful. But as a Prime Minister, you must exercise good judgment. You must exercise discretion. Because you have to make decisions on behalf of your nation. Your 1.5 million people or so that we have right here. You must be able to think critically. You must be able to make hard decisions and right decisions. You know, when this man come in office, the first thing he do? He appoint an attorney general who never practiced law. Could you imagine that? You know, she had to face a high court judge recently to ask the judge to make her back, to give her back her practicing certificate. She had to pay about $50,000 in arrears for her practicing certificate. The second decision he made was he appointed a fella called Adrian Leons as the Minister of Housing. As the Minister of Housing, tonight we renew the call that Stuart Young must fire Minister Leons. You feel we forget that? This man is saying that he engaged in some business with some partner he met for 2 times in the UK because he wanted to use his man address. But then he tell me the same statement, well, I have a grandmother who living in the UK, sorry. But I didn't want to use she address. I rather use this fella address, and then he find out the fella under investigation. And Stuart Young say, well, that is nothing. Leave him there. We must fire all of them on April 28th. We must fire them. Because if Stuart Young don't want to do it now, the people will have to fire Stuart Young. You will have to do it. But you know, tonight, I want to raise a very important matter with you all. I don't know what happened, but I have a very large mailbox. Right? I have a large mailbox, and I have some items that were delivered in this mailbox. You remember a couple of weeks ago, I raised an issue in St. Augustine that dealt with Plibdeco buying tickets for the PNM Fete. And you know that PNM, people say nothing wrong with that. That is using taxpayers' money to fund a political party. That is totally illegal, unlawful, and unethical. Now, Plibdeco, we see a letter circulating, they say the letter fake. Right? They say, in this letter, they want to make the PNM look good. And the first item in the letter is that they want to open something called a simulator room. And this is an initiative that must be operational and publicly veiled as a demonstration of technological investment in the workforce. I am reliably informed that on the 4th of April, this Friday, at 1 p.m., Plibdeco wants to commission the simulator and equipment training at warehouse number 1, Amazon Drive, Point Lisas Industrial Estate. So this is the memo here. I have a copy of the document from Plibdeco. So basically, let me break down this thing for you. They have a project in Plibdeco, a simulation operation, and they want to cut a ribbon. It's actually a ribbon cutting ceremony. And they make this request on the 24th of the 3rd month, 2025. In this ceremony, they are inviting 70 people, 70. And they're going to serve the guests with this. Here, I'm reading from it. Hors d'oeuvres. Dr. Moonilal normally says horse d'oeuvres. And he said the hors d'oeuvres will be served after the formal ceremony / ribbon cutting with a separate luncheon in the conference center for the board, executive, and specially invited guests. You want to know how much this ribbon cutting ceremony is going to cost the taxpayers? $205,000. When I hear this, I say that has to be a very expensive ribbon. They make that ribbon with a gold. That'll be a golden ribbon. This memo outlines that they want to spend $205,000 for a ribbon cutting ceremony. This is absolutely ludicrous, shameless, and we must vote them out. We must vote them out. They are wasting your money. Do you know how much medicine this $205,000 could buy for patients in the hospital? Baby grants we could give through this. This is an absolute and total waste of taxpayers' money. And you know why they're doing this? Because they want the PNM to look good. The PNM cannot look good. They cannot look good. The PNM cannot look good. Now, I have a next one for you. You know they want to open something called the TTRA. You all know about that? They want to refurbish, I can say refurbish, the Board of Inland Revenue and set up something called the TTRA, where workers in this country had to take the court to the Privy Council because they were afraid that they would lose their jobs. And tonight I want to thank the PSA for standing with the United National Congress. Because when the UNC wins, workers will win. I have a letter here dated the 1st of September 2022 from one Nigel Edwards, a draft letter going to Mr. Edwards. And they have a project called Project Collect. You know what that means? Project Collect is coming to collect taxpayers' dollars. That is what they want to do. They are wasting taxpayers' dollars and they want to collect now. Now they hired this company called Ernst & Young as consultants for this particular project of the TTRA. And Ernst & Young, there's a lady called Maria Daniel. And Maria Daniel is someone I am asking tonight whether or not she's the regional head of Ernst & Young in Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to ask tonight whether or not she is the former partner of Minister Stuart Young, the mother of one Christiana Sanka. I want to ask that tonight. And she's the regional head of Ernst & Young. I want to ask if that is the same person and they bear the same identity. I'm asking. I have documents in my possession here, ladies and gentlemen, where Ernst & Young entered into several agreements with the TTRA. And in particular, there is one document here that is dated in September 2022. 19th September 2022 to be exact. And in this particular matter, they are telling the government that the monthly fee that Ernst & Young will charge the government for services and professional services is $625,000 per month. $625,000 per month. And here it is. You know how much people they're going to send from Ernst & Young to the TTRA? They call it resources. 3 partners, 3 senior managers, 2 managers, and 4 staff and seniors. So we get 4 and 2, 6 and 6, 12 persons. That is where your money is going. And then it gets worse, you know. They now want to hire something called an IT lead or a position called IT lead. And the IT lead, the airfare for that person is $20,000, accommodation, $30,000, meals, ground transport, incidentals, $15,000, paid $65,000. Now, you know what that means? It have many young people who graduated from UE and other universities with IT degrees. So nobody in Trinidad and Tobago good enough as an IT lead. You have to bring in somebody from abroad. Is that fair to the young people of this country? Is that fair to the qualified young people who have degrees and they're at home and they cannot get a job? We promise you that when we get into power, we will create sustainable jobs for young people in this country. But I have the breakdown of what was paid to Ernst & Young for this period. They have been paid for professional services a grand total of $7.1 million. Look, I have the breakdown here. $7.1 million. This is where your money is going. And they are paying this to the TTRA so that they could come in your parlor, in whatever little business you have home, and rake up the little money you're making. This is what they want. And then when they rake up the money, they will squander the money on $200,000 ribbon cutting ceremony. Could you imagine this shameless government? Will you allow them to do this to you? Debe, let me hear a little louder. Will you allow them to do this to you? When UNC wins, we must get rid of Stuart Young and the entire PNM. I am working very hard in Barataria San Juan to ensure that that seat comes home to the UNC on the 28th. Devish Maharaj is working very hard in St. Joseph. We in stage. Mr. Roger Alexander is with us. I see Dr. Daulat is also here. We are going to work very hard night and day to ensure that we protect the taxpayers' dollars of this country and get rid of Stuart Young, Colm Imbert, Fitzgerald Hines, and every single one of them. My brothers and sisters, I encourage you, go out early on April 28th and vote. Vote for the rising sun. Because when UNC wins, everybody wins. I thank you very much.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins, everybody wins.
Another round of applause for our friend MP Saddam Hussein, please. At this time, we're going to call up a gentleman that, of course, I mentioned earlier to say a few words. UNC family, please put your hands together for the former MP for Couva South, our good friend, Rudhanath Indar Singh.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins, everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change.
Thank you very much. Our political leader and next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessa, my colleagues of the UNC, current members of Parliament, those who have been nominated to be candidates on behalf of the United National Congress, and more specifically, Mr. Barry Padarath, the incoming Member of Parliament for Couva South, my distinguished brothers and sisters of the United National Congress. Tonight, we are in Debe Junction. We are in the fortress of the Lion of Oropouche East, and indeed a fortress for the United National Congress. And on the night of the 28th of April 2025, the United National Congress will be the next government of Trinidad and Tobago. Tonight you have assembled in your thousands at Debe Junction because you have confidence in a great leader and a great party in terms of the future and the vision of Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to make some brief points because I've been asked to bring greetings. But I want to tell a fella by the name of Stuart Young that he has suddenly discovered his roots in Debe, and I think he got the address wrong because his grandmother and grandfather was never from Lal Bihari Trace. If Stuart Young wanted to know about the history of Debe and Debe Junction, he should have asked Rudhanath Indar Singh. My mother was born on the hill, on the main road, just at the beginning of Kuchawan Trace. And if anybody knows about the history of Kuchawan Trace and Lal Bihari Trace and Debe Junction and Ramai Trace and Suchet Trace and so on, it is me and the late Tara Maharaj, better known as Sarah Indar Singh, when she came to Karani based on marriage to my late father. And indeed, this can be testified. Well, he has gone to the great beyond. But the late chairman of the Penal Debe Regional Corporation, Premchand Doksuku know that I was the grandson of the late Ramgun and Rajo Maharaj of Kuchawan Trace. So when you want to know about the genuine history and people who have a genuine root in Debe, I don't know if you ever eat Baigani, Sahina, Kachori, doubles and any from Hussein's or Singh's or any of the shops down in Debe Junction. I don't know if the fella even know how to properly hold Kachori or Sahina, or how to deal with our doubles in Debe Junction. But I'll leave that at that. And more importantly, I want to tell you that your party and our great party was born out of struggle. A great struggle that started in 1975 out of Bloody Tuesday. And under Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC, it was a party that gave people-centered development and unparalleled improvement in the standard of living and quality of life of workers throughout the length and breadth of this country between 2010 and 2015. And that is why today we have the Oilfield Workers Trade Union. We have the Public Services Association. We have the labor movement on the side of the United National Congress. And my brothers and sisters, when you go to the polls on the 28th, of April, you must understand what delivery is about, what a track record is about. Well, it have a fellow by the name of Maklashi, who was, if I ask Sole who Maklashi is, anybody can tell me who Maklashi was under the PNM? Because they never appreciated what it means to deliver to workers, and you must never forget, it was a government led by Kamla Prasad Bisesa, settled 135 negotiations, raised the minimum wage twice, ensured that $5 billion was found to pay back pay. She did not gripe, she did not moan, she did not display weak leadership and complain about the size of the public service and the wage bill. She understood, because your party understood what it meant to deliver to workers. She understood, we understood what a special duty allowance was for all public servants. We understood what it meant to raise the minimum wage twice, and we understood what women was about in ensuring that maternity standards were raised in keeping with international labor standards and incorporated into the Maternity Protection Act of Trinidad and Tobago. So my brothers and sisters, our great struggle will continue between now and the 28th of April. It is a struggle that you must join. It is a struggle that you must not abandon, my brothers and sisters, because I want to tell you that when we get into government, we will ensure that the collective bargaining process is restored from an independent process where it will be handled by the Office of the Chief Personnel Officer. We will ensure that there's proper social dialogue and tripartism in the workplace, my brothers and sisters. We are committed to amending every piece of labor legislation which has impacted upon workers in Trinidad and Tobago in a negative manner. And that is why we have said to you that corporate manslaughter will come on the statute books of Trinidad and Tobago. We have said that the survivors in terms of Christopher Boudram of that Paria tragedy and the families will be paid, and we will honor what the commissioner said in his report. King's Counsel, Christopher Jerome Lynch. And we also said that we will ensure that workers find a rightful place at the table, my brothers and sisters, in a UNC-led government. So, as I leave you here tonight, I want to tell you politics is not about the faint-hearted. Politics is about those who are committed to a principle, a cause, who understands a philosophy, who understands what it means to be on a party that has had its roots on behalf of all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And tonight I want to welcome my friend and colleague, the current member of Parliament for the current member of Parliament for Pointe-à-Pierre. And I know that he will bring quality representation with the passage of time. My brothers and sisters of this great party, stand strong, Debe Junction. Stand strong, Trinidad and Tobago, as we continue this glorious march, this glorious procession into the government of Trinidad and Tobago, led by Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Long live the people of Debe Junction. Long live the United National Congress. Long live the great people of Trinidad and Tobago. And tonight, as I leave this platform, I call upon the former member of Parliament for Princestown, the party's organizer, Barry Padarath, to come and bring to you and deliver to you his address as he continues to be part of Team UNC, because when UNC wins, everybody wins, my brothers and sisters. I thank you.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Political leader of the United National Congress and the best Prime Minister Trinidad and Tobago has ever had, and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who's viewing us on the live stream tonight, our host Member of Parliament, our brother, the Lion himself, Dr. Roodal Moonilal. Allow me to give a special shout out, thank you, to a man who has displayed tremendous amount of discipline, strength, and real unity here tonight in the person of no other than the sitting member of Parliament for Vancouver South, my brother Rudy Indar Singh. I want to recognize the chairman and members of the constituency executive, the councillors of the constituency of Vancouver South, who they themselves have demonstrated tremendous magnanimity and unity in ensuring that Vancouver South remains in the fold of the United National Congress. Brothers and sisters, inside and outside of the Parliament, the national executive members, members of the local government fraternity, those of you who have assembled here tonight in the historic Debe Junction, I say thank you, thank you, thank you for coming out in your hundreds and giving us the support on a public holiday tonight, knowing that you stand with your party and your leader. Brothers and sisters, over the past few weeks, the People's National Movement have been telling us that they are entering a new era, that they are turning a new page. Tonight, I want to ask you here in Debe Junction, can you enter a new era with the same old sleepy Fitzgerald Hines? Can you enter a new era with the same old impossible Colm Imbert? Can you enter a new era with a woman who admits that she doesn't even have O-level maths, Camille Robinson-Regis? Can you enter a new era with a man like Marvin Gonzalez who causes you sufferation for water throughout the length and breadth of this country? Brothers and sisters, there will be no new era under the People's National Movement. That new era comes with the Prime Ministership of Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar and a United National Congress government. Brothers and sisters, you have a clear choice to make on April 28, 2025. You can decide whether or not you want the trajectory of this country to continue along the path of no growth, of no prosperity, and no real tangible solutions to the issues that impact you most in your pockets and in your homes. You heard earlier from speakers on critical issues of national security, on food security, on social security. But the only party who puts forward plans and tangible solutions from day one is the platform of the United National Congress. When the political leader of the UNC can stand up and tell you on day one what she will do to increase the capacity of the TTPS by passing stand your ground legislation, then you know you have a leader and a party with vision and purpose to take us into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, one of the greatest issues that impact you up to today in the constituency of Oropouche East, in the constituency of Oropouche West, in the constituency of Naparima, in the neighboring constituency of Maruga Tableland, in the neighboring constituency, and I want to recognize my sister, the new candidate for Princestown, and Dr. Aina Hali, who will bring home that seat resoundingly for the United National Congress. Dave Tanku told you tonight about geographical discrimination. Every time the People's National Movement is in office, those constituencies that I've mentioned to you have tremendous problems for basic commodities like water. You would recall between 1995 to 2001, when you had the first UNC government under Mr. Pandey, the strides we made in terms of water production and water distribution. In 2010, when we went into office for the second time under Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, we moved water production and water distribution from where the PNM had us under 16% of 24/7 potable water to 73% when we left office. Brothers and sisters, that is performance. That is delivery. And that is why we say performance beats all talk any and every time. You had a government that performed and delivered to you in every critical sector that affects you in your homes. Tonight I want to tell you, when we go back into government, we will ensure that we have water for all. Tonight I want to tell you, just a few days ago, Colin Mimbert coming in as the new Minister of Public Utilities, telling the country in his first interview as Minister of Public Utilities, when asked and pressed by members of the media as to whether or not the government will be introducing new water and electricity rates, he said, well, I never say that. The government never say that. We're not sure what is going to happen. But this is the same Colin Mimbert who told Standard & Poor's, Moody, and it is contained in the Article 4 consultation with the IMF in 2024 that they intend on raising water and electricity rates to increase revenue for Trinidad and Tobago. So Colin Mimbert, you could jump high, you could jump low. You could run, but you cannot hide. Facts remain facts. It is on the public record that the PNM has already indicated that one of their very first intentions when it comes to raising increased revenue is to increase water and electricity rates. That is in the public domain. It is documented not only in the IMF consultation report, the Article 4 consultation report, it is also contained in the Standard & Poor's report. It is contained in their consultation with Moody's. Brothers and sisters, we have told you already, should you take God out of your thoughts and vote the People's National Movement on April 28, the very first act will be to increase water and electricity rates. You could put that in your pipe and smoke it, that is the intention of Stuart Young. Tonight I want to tell you, without saying too much because we will have other opportunities, they are putting the lives of the constituency and the constituents of Maruga Tableland at risk. Now Saddam talk about he have big mailbox. Saddam is not the only one who have mailbox. Today I can confirm that there is a report inside of Wassa that the wells that they have dug in Maruga Tableland have high concentration of carcinogenic material in it. And the instruction has been from the government to continue water production through those wells. Tonight I want to put the people of Maruga Tableland on alert that your water supply could very well lead to you getting cancer for you, your family, and your children. In days to come, we will put out the report. We are studying the report, but I want the Minister of Public Utilities, who has continued to be less than honest with the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Let us not forget this is a man who has lied to the country. When $3 billion remain unaccounted for, as identified by the Auditor General report, he said, no, things good, things nice, the country is booming. Tonight I want to ask Imbert, tell us whether or not that report exists and whether or not the lives of the constituents of Maruga Tableland are being put at risk through the direct directions of members of the government. Brothers and sisters, I want to tell you that even the PNM people are saying that the PNM is going to lose the next general election. PNM people are saying in Wassa, they cannot wait to see the back of the PNM. You are seeing the support of the PSA. You are seeing the support of the OWTU. The PEP has joined us. Tonight, I want to recognize a statesman in our party, a man who has demonstrated commitment, who understands when the UNC wins, everybody wins. It is not about position. It is not about seat. It is about party, and it is about country moving forward. Brothers and sisters, tonight from this platform, your party is strong. Your leader is strong. Let us put steel in our backbone and fire in our belly as we move forward to take our great party into government. Will you stand with us? Will you stand with the UNC? Will you stand with political leader Kamla Persad Bisesa? I say to you tonight, let us move forward, onward to victory. We must win, because when the UNC wins, everybody wins. When the UNC wins, Wassa workers win. When the UNC wins, hospital workers win. When the UNC wins, policemen win. When the UNC wins, our children win. Stand together, united we are in the United National Congress. Brothers and sisters, from this platform, I thank you for your love and support. And you will see me on the campaign trail in Cuba South, walking with my brother Rudy and Darsing and others. Come out, support your candidates. Let us return Kamla Persad Bisesa to the corridors of power and ensure that we have a victory for our great party. So let me hear it. When the UNC wins, when the UNC wins, when the UNC wins, or whatever, backward never. I thank you.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins.
A round of applause again for the next MP for Cuba South, Mr. Barry Padarath. And also a round of applause again for Mr. Rudhanath Indar Singh. At this time, we have some entertainment for you. This gentleman has performed in packed stadiums in North America and the UK. He's a former Chutney Soca Monarch winner. He has performed at Buckingham Palace, and he has performed in front of kings and queens. Oropouche East, UNC family, please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Adish Samaru.
UNC people say yeah, yeah. When UNC win?
Mood.
Something new.
When the lion roar, the enemy is no more. Roodal is in name, Oropouche is you win again. When the lion win, Oropouche will win. When UNC win, everybody win. When the lion roar, the enemy is no more. Roodal is in name, Oropouche is you win again.
Good night, everyone. Good night. Good night, everybody. Say good night. Give me a UNC good night. Say yeah, yeah.
A man across a great heart who one another know, representing his area and ready to do more. Brilliant and brave, the lion, honest and strong. Roodal Moonilal, I'll let the lion roar.
Padarath in the air. Put your flags in the air.
We voted for Moonilal, we voted for Roodal. Let the lion roar, the lion roar. Fear them is no more. Roodal is the name, Oropouche is you win again. When the lion win, Oropouche will win. When UNC win, everybody win. When the lion roar, fear them is no more. Roodal is the name, Oropouche is you win again.
I wish the system could raise a little bit for me. So get your flags in the air and get ready for it.
The lion helping everyone and only helping all. Vote for the UNC on 28th of April. Even special road, we will dragging on you all the time. Vote UNC for office and leave the rest behind. We voted for Roodal, we voted for Moonilal, we voted for Roodal. Let the lion roar, the lion roar. PNM is no more. Roodal is the name, Oropouche is you win again. When the lion win, Oropouche will win. When UNC win, everybody win. When the lion roar, PNM is no more. Roodal is the name, Oropouche is you win again.
The boss taking Oropouche again. The boss man taking Oropouche again. That's what we talking about, man. Hear this.
He just fight them hard in parliament like a lion have a friend. This lion have no fear, no good they could compare. But Roodal Moonilal, a man who really care. So vote for UNC to save this country. We voted for Roodal, we voted for Moonilal, we voted for Roodal. Let the lion roar, the lion roar. PNM no more. Roodal is the name, Oropouche is you win again. When the lion win, Oropouche will win. When UNC win, everybody win. When the lion roar, PNM is no more. Roodal is the name, Oropouche is you win again.
All the UNC people here, put your flag in the air. Put your flag in the air. I want you to sing it. When UNC win. When UNC win. When UNC win. And when the lion roar, PNM is no more. My name is Adish Samaru. Congratulations in advance, boss. Congratulations in advance. To the UNC, congratulations in advance.
Ah, yes, folks. A round of applause for the man, Adish Samaru. Now, at this point, I'll need some help from you, UNC family. When I point to you, all you have to say is, he roars. That's all. He roars. When they tried to hide the SSA fiasco, when they tried to hide Trestrail, when they lied about Delcy and the whole pandemic, when they lie about the SOE, Oropouche, please stand and make some noise for your MP. Again, he will serve you, the people of Oropouche East, and deliver. Please stand, put your hands together, and make some noise, because you know he does what? He what? He what? Roodal Moonilal!
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Thank you very much, my great friend Mikey. All you hear tune father? Later in the campaign you'll hear tune mother. Now, my brothers and sisters assembled here in your thousands at Debe Junction, I could not help but notice that the entire road, the streets are filled. I think the police have been very helpful. We have blocked the road tonight temporarily. And on my left, under the tents and even beyond, there are a lot of people. I just want to hail them out. They are not even in this compound. They are listening from a next compound behind the wall. So the writing is on the wall. The PNM will fall. The Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa and Dr. Gregory Bisesa, parliamentary colleagues from the upper and lower house, members of the National Executive, members of the National Campaign team, brothers and sisters of the local government fraternity assembled here this evening, brothers and sisters from various executives in our constituencies across Penal Debe and elsewhere who have made the trip, specially invited guests, brothers and sisters. I do not have the time to go through, but we are being carried live on several social media platforms in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, the Caribbean. I like bigging up our friends abroad because they are sometimes sitting in a very cold environment with their families. So I want to say hello tonight to Norbert and his family in Canada. In Canada as well, Mr. Cherry and his family is there. Herschel and family in Guyana. Other brothers and sisters in Grenada, friends in Florida. You are listening tonight. We want to thank you for tuning in. We want to thank all our guests here tonight. We have already recognized several candidates. We have former ministers of government. Dr. Tim Gopi Singh is with us tonight. Former Minister of Government, Mr. Glenn Ramadas Singh is here as well. May I also welcome in our midst retired Major Roger Bess, former Director of the Strategic Services Agency, who is here as well. May I also welcome friends, families that are coming from the Penal Debe area, especially for this meeting. I want to tell you, it is not a secret. We got a call on Sunday evening that the constituency must hold this meeting at Sunday night. Barry generated a call to me at 10 p.m. and we told him that if that is the wish of the party, he's the party organizer, and that is the wish of the leader, we will have that meeting on Tuesday night, and we have thousands of supporters on the road tonight. So the message to Barry is, if he would give us 3 days notice, we will go to Skinner Park. We will put the meeting in Skinner Park. Brothers and sisters, today, this country is unrecognizable from the paradise that Kamala Prasad Bisesa left in 2015. Brothers and sisters, today, this country is being seen throughout the region as a basket case. Friends in the Caribbean tell us when they meet us, they say, how did Rowley and Stuart Young do it? I say, how you mean how they do it? Do what? They say, how did they destroy that country in 9 years? Sometimes it takes 20 years to destroy a country. They did it in 9 years. That is their record. When they went into power 2015, you did not need a visa to go to England. Remember? Today, if you have to go to the highest court in this land, which is the Privy Council, you have to get a visa. You have to get a visa to go to court. Today, the visas of citizens of this country are being threatened by the United States of America, and you could have cancellation of visas. That is where we have reached because of their pussyfooting and footsie. No, that is a real word. That is not a bad word. Because of their hanky-panky with the Maduro regime. Today, the visas of citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, that visa is threatened and they can cancel it. Brothers and sisters, crime even in a state of emergency is out of control. When they came into power, remember the old talk, the big talk. They say they will make Trinidad and Tobago one large Wi-Fi zone. They call it what, a hot zone, a hotspot. A Wi-Fi hotspot, the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. Today, it is a crime hotspot, the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. Not Wi-Fi. That is their legacy, brothers and sisters. Crime, poverty, that is their legacy. Tonight, as you assemble in your thousands at the Lion's Den, you are in the Lion's Den. And I have to tell you something. Nobody likes to come into a lion's den unless you are the friend of the lion. So Dubraj, you are here as a friend of the lion. You are here in the lion's den, so we can tell you in this area, a stone throw away from here, Councillor Victor, a stone throw away from here, is the Debe campus built by Kamla Prasad Bisesa. That has remained closed for 10 years, 9.5 years. That campus has never seen a student. It see goat, it see snake, it see stray dog, but it never see a student. That campus, a stone throw from here, for over $1 billion or so, we built a campus for the children. They kept the campus closed. In Clark Road nearby, we had built schools, 2, I think, massive structures for schools. That is now overrun with Karaili vine. In fact, I think people steal the galvanize. If you go there now, you might find illegal people living there. That is what they have left in this area. Over here, if it drizzle, it flood. But if it flood, you don't have water in the tap. That is Penal Debe, brothers and sisters. That is the legacy of Stuart Young. And I want to say to Saddam Hussein and my Islamic brothers and sisters, I will in no way bring the mosque, the masjid, into any political platform. I will not do that. But I want to tell you that last week I visited the Islamic Center in Debe. And when I heard from the leadership of that mosque, I told them I will not say anything on the platform. But what I can tell you is when I met them, I observe all protocols of the mosque. I observe all. I met with the executive and I discussed some of the issues affecting them. And if it is the will of God, inshallah, that we are returned to office, brothers and sisters, we will help the Debe Islamic Center. We will help. I made that commitment in front of our own executive in Penal Debe, brothers and sisters. Stuart Young talks today about a new chapter. But the new chapter is in an old book. How do you have a new story in a continuing book? There can be no new chapter in an old book. It is a continuation of a story of poverty, a story of crime, a story of a broken education system, a story of a broken health system, a story of the collapse of the economy, of joblessness. So don't let him fool you that there's a new chapter. He come with new chapter. It is in an old book. It is a continuation of their story. It is not a new era. It is a new era. It is a new era that they are coming with. Brothers and sisters, in 2010, I want to remind some of you, had a prime minister named Manning. Only remember that? We told you in 2010, the day before election, it was Manning, and the day of the election is man out. I want to tell you, the PNM put up a slogan. They say, what? All in. On April 28th, it's not all in, it's all out. All out, not all in, April 28th, because we will get rid of Faris Alwari by Dr. Michael Dowlett in the audience. Give him a round of applause. We will rid ourselves, brothers and sisters, of the PNM everywhere. They exist now temporarily. We will remove them. Well, in the other constituencies assembled here, there's no PNM down here. I want to tell you, in a trace nearby here, the PNM got 2 votes. But you know what's one fella vote twice? And we know the fella. We know him. So they have no support in these areas. They cannot come here. Mr. Young could go in the mosque, the temple, the church. He could go anywhere he wants. There is no support for him in these areas because the people have suffered. And the PNM has collapsed. Today there is a vacuum in the leadership of the PNM. When Rowley left, he left a vacuum. It's called a leadership vacuum. And Stuart Young doesn't have the charisma. He doesn't have the gravitas. He doesn't have the personality. He doesn't have the compassion. He doesn't have the heart. He doesn't have the body. He has nothing to fill the shoes of a leader. So they are in a leadership vacuum. In the UNC, there is no leadership vacuum. There is a political leader with the compassion, a political leader with the skill, with the expertise, a political leader with the heart to serve the people, and that is Kamla Prasad Bisesa. The PNM is demons. I hear the lady in the back shouting. I don't want to repeat them kind of thing. Brothers and sisters, the PNM had a wake last Friday, I think in Mount Lambert somewhere. They had a wake. They had a meeting. And it turns out that they cannot get an audience of 15 people. And they had a wake in Mount Lambert. A fella tell me, he said, I was going to the meeting. I said, why are you going to that meeting for? He said, well, boss, I have to go. I want to see what's going on. I want a Mako. He said, but I couldn't find the meeting. They cannot even attract a Mako to their meeting because you can't find it. If you drive on the main road here, you will see cars. You will see people standing up at the side of the road with the UNC shirt and things. So you know there's a UNC meeting somewhere around here. When the PNM have a meeting, you don't know. So what they do is they make speeches and they rebroadcast and re-rebroadcast and re-rebroadcast. Because nobody goes to the meeting, brothers and sisters. They are with propaganda and old talk. That is what they are coming with. So don't take on Stuart Young. Don't take on Camille, the WPC. She, you know, this is a woman who admits that she cannot count. She admits that she didn't pass mathematics in school, so she can't count effectively. Now we knew she couldn't account. Now we know she couldn't count. So she cannot count and she cannot account. They put her as the minister. Brothers and sisters, we have a bright future ahead of us with the UNC. We have a bright future. I want to remind the public officers that we have worked for many days and nights over a long period of time with the trade unions. May I ask you to give a round of applause for the members of the Oilfield Workers Trade Unions at our meeting tonight. A round of applause for the Public Service Association and other unions here tonight. Brothers and sisters, we have pledged, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa has pledged that on returning to office, we will implement the 9% settlement for NIB workers for the period 2014 and 2016. Look at the period, 14 to 16. We will implement that. Do you know public servants are today living on salaries of 2013? Could you imagine that? 2013 salaries they are living in 2025. As soon as you see the back of Imbert and Stuart Young and Rowley, you will get the implementation of that 9% for the period 2014-2016. We will repeal the TTRA. We will repeal the TTRA Act. brothers and sisters of the BIR and elsewhere, we will repeal the TTRA. We will shelve the PNM WASA Cabinet Subcommittee report that spoke about retrenchment and unemployment. We will shelve. That's a big word to say. We're going to throw away that report on WASA. We will pelt that away. That will go down in the drain somewhere. We will commence negotiations with the unions starting at 10%. You hear that? We will commence negotiations starting at 10%. We will pay the debt owed on the medical plans. We will pay the debt. We will meet and treat with the Petrotrin workers. We have said it before. Former Petrotrin workers concerning their medical plan and their pension. We will take all steps possible working with the OWTU to reopen the refinery and get this country back into refining. Brothers and sisters, that spells jobs. That spells jobs, brothers and sisters. We cannot continue anymore with the corruption, the waste, the mismanagement of the PNM administration. you again with this demon talk. Brothers and sisters, a couple of our plans I want to tell you, and I think Ivan can bring it up on the screen. They have this system now where they just punish people on the road, man. Punishment with this demerit, what do you call it, the demerit, guys, the demerit points. But I never get on, so. The demerit points, and that the wardens and police does use that like a baton. In the old days, they beat you with a baton. Today, they do the demerit point. We have pledged to review that system to introduce a fairer system to deal with those problems on the road. A fairer demerit point traffic system. We will open the Couva Children Hospital that was built for the children of the Caribbean and the Hemisphere. We are going to win. We will have pay, protection, and support for security guards. Do you know there are over 10,000 private security guards in this country? They put their life at risk. One security guard told me, he told me, he said the height of the COVID, when everybody coming into a supermarket with COVID, the first person they had to see was the security guard. They didn't see the manager. They didn't see the boss man or the boss lady. They saw a security guard. They put their life at risk. And we will have pay protection and support, social security support for all the security officers in Trinidad and Tobago. We will be protecting customers and citizens from all the exorbitant and unfair and unjust banking fees and interest rates that the banks currently impose on citizens. Brothers and sisters, we will create an East-West corridor, a manufacturing hub to create jobs and reduce crime. Crime has to do with economic development, jobs. We have to create jobs if you want to reduce crime. We will make it easier and faster for business approvals in Trinidad and Tobago. And for the energy sector, and there's a big energy sector in South Trinidad, we will introduce a new body to represent locally owned medium and small scale enterprises in the energy sector to protect jobs, generate investment, and circulate income among the people. Brothers and sisters, we will introduce a program with computer application, artificial intelligence, a tech development program in all schools in Trinidad and Tobago. That is taking our laptop initiative further and further ahead with AI. And for those of you in the Marabella area, I know for sure, and in some places of Debe, when you hear people with their nightclub and disco and thing now, and in the night you cannot sleep, the elderly people taking the pills, they have to go and take a rest, and they cannot sleep because of noise. We will introduce stronger laws to stop noise pollution in residential communities. You hear plans? That is plan. That is plan for you. You can't complain about that, brothers and sisters. You can't complain about that. And you know, I have to say a word about housing. When we were in government, brothers and sisters, I think Saddam said, we gave 100 homes per week. Nila Khan, you remember that? 100 homes per week to citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. The PNM, when they came in, I think they gave 100 homes in 10 years. And when they give you the key, they take back the key. They can't build nothing. I want to tell you something. If a PNM man come by your house and he say he want to build a bird cage, tell him no. Everything they build has fall down. All you from down here, look at the mosquito crack. To build a road next to the sea, they can't do that. If you go Florida and you go to Caribbean islands and things, in Jamaica, I think, and other islands, they have an airport in the sea. In the Caribbean, they can build an airport in the sea, but you cannot build a road next to the sea. The mosquito crack. They cannot fix it. Years now, wasted $65 million. It will be left to a government of Kamla Prasad Bisesa to rectify that and build a highway. You know what is amazing? Rohan Sinanan. That's his name, right? I know he does get vexed when people call him something else. You know? I know he does, what does call him? Krishna? Ram? Rawan? But he does get vexed when people call him them things, so we can't call him that. So brothers and sisters, now we call him that. I want to tell you, brothers and sisters, they boasting that they have done this, they have done that in the field of, in the area of infrastructure. They have done nothing. They have presided over the collapse of roads, of bridges in our own area, at Monkey Town, at Barakpo, at another one, Kanai, Nicholas, somewhere around again. 3 bridges, they work in 3 years to build 3 bridges and they cannot even complete that. They boasted when they came into office. They say we did something wrong with the highway to Point Fortin. There is no highway to Point Fortin. I challenge any one of you, bring your family from Canada, put them in a car in Port of Spain and tell them drive to Point Fortin. Could I ask you to take a car in Port of Spain and drive to Point Fortin? You will get lost by Dolly Minimart. You will get lost by Joyce Roti Shop. You will get lost. There's a bus stop on the highway. That is in 4 pieces when you come down by Debe. If you try driving from Debe to Point Fortin, you'll fall into the Gulcharan River. Because, correct? It's not only embarrassing, no Debe, you know. Yeah. So let me tell you something. Let me tell you, to go to Point Fortin, you have to come off at Golconda, correct? Double back somewhere down by Gulf City. Go down the mosquito crack. Cut away when you pass Faizabad. Go through some trace down there. Come back on the highway. Stay on the highway. Then come off the highway. Then come back on the highway. Passing Lacrambodo, am I correct? Right. There is no highway. They cannot build a highway in 10 years, brothers and sisters. I want to tell you, do not put God out of your thoughts. Do not put God out of your thoughts. You will not get housing. You will not get land. When we return to office, we will reintroduce the Land for the Landless program, which we started, and we will develop 40,000 lots of lands to give out to the people of Trinidad and Tobago deserving of lands. We have said that before. We will introduce an aggressive housing program, brothers and sisters, to ensure that people deserving of housing will get the houses. They build house in Trestrail. A fella built some house there. You know, the only house fall down already. They collapse. They collapse. We see the fella the other day. Only remember? We see him the other day. I have to ask him about those houses. Tonight, I want you all to look at the screen. And we will tell you, the audience and all of you, do not put God out of your thoughts. That pension bill that they brought in December to the parliament to take away your pension, that was not an accident. It was not inadvertent. It was not, you know, something happened, something gone wrong. That was planned. It was calculated. Huh? It was deliberate. And if they go back there, God forbid, that bill will never be withdrawn. Read the last 4 lines of Clause 6. Clause 6 of that bill stipulates that only Trinidad and Tobago citizens aged 65 and older who are ordinary residents will be eligible for a pension, provided that they do not receive a monthly income exceeding the specified limit, having savings under $25,000. if you have savings more than $25,000, brothers and sisters, you will be denied your pension. Now, let me try to explain that because I come in close now to this pension business. Now, imagine a man or woman. You work 30 years. You work 40 years. But let me say now, you save $500, I don't know, a month, a year. Tim Gopi Singh very good at this. I do the maths there for me, Tim. $25,000 divided by 30 years of working. How much you saving a year? Huh? $800 you're saving a year. How much you saving a month, Tim? $60? Right. So we go put it this way. That fella has a computer in his head. $60 a month you're saving. $800 a year you're saving. And because of that saving, you will be denied a pension. What is the word you're using in the back there, madam, to describe them? They have to be. They have to be. What is the word they use there? That is what they are. They have to be demon. Where somebody saves $60 a month to deny you a pension. But if you lie down on the road and you don't have a cent in your pocket, you do nothing, you never pay tax in your life, you have nothing, you get your pension. How unfair that is. It is unfair, and we will address that. Brothers and sisters, this is what they will be coming back with to take away your pension. They will be coming with property tax, TTRA. Don't forget, that is their legacy. There's no new chapter. There's an old book. They are coming with their old book, not a new chapter. Brothers and sisters, don't let them mamaga you. Don't let them fool you. Brothers and sisters, in the HDC homes, we are telling you, and take this and keep it in your head. If they come back into office, they will introduce property tax in HDC homes. You will have to pay property tax if you occupy an HDC home. That is a fact, brothers and sisters. They cannot hide from that. That is what they're doing. Brothers and sisters, I want to make a next point to you. Stuart Young is trying to come across as if he knew. New chapter, new era. He don't even have a new suit. You ever see how he and Rowley just dress the same? Them just buy these things 2 in 1, you know. The same suit, the same tie, the same shirt, everywhere they're going anyway. Put on all kind of crazy. Anyway, I don't talk about that. But they have nothing new to offer this country, brothers and sisters. I want to remind you, people forget, I want to tell you, I just forget too. If you asked me why I had my breakfast yesterday, this morning, I forget. I just forget too, to be honest with you. And somehow we get COVID and things, we just forget a lot. So, not that we just use that to breaks, but brothers and sisters, remember this. Could you remember the NGC, National Gas Corporation? Imagine Stuart Young is the backbone behind energy. He parading in this country, want to be prime minister, and telling people he reversed the energy sector and he's an energy expert. Let me tell you something. Before 2015, anybody ever hear Stuart Young? That fella was what's called a government lawyer, collecting briefs from the PNM and so on. Nobody never hear about him in parliament, in the courthouse, outside the courthouse. Nobody hear about him. He is now an energy expert, he says. I want to remind you, the national community, the NGC wasted $200 million on what is called compressors for a project at Beachfield, Guayari. You all remember that? Anybody remember that? Well, let me remind you. NGC spent $200 million in 2021 or thereabout. They admitted that they spent that money on a failed project and lost the investment. Now, I like how people just describe losing money. When we lose money, we bad, rotten. We have no head. We can't spend. We make a mistake, criminal. When they lose money, it was a bad investment. $200 million gone, bad investment. They realized the facility was not needed because BP had already invested in a similar facility. NGC lost $200 million by buying parts and things for a compressor facility. That gone, they say we'll write off that. I like how that does go too. When they lose money, you write off. When you lose money, the bank take your house, your car, your clothes. But when they lose money, they write off. I want to take you back 2020. The NGC wasted $250 million in a failed attempt to keep Atlantic Train 1 alive in the face of BP and Shell. Both the largest shareholders of Atlantic Train 1 are BP and Shell. They told the government, it is there in the public record, they told the government that they were not investing in Train 1. They will not put money in it. But there was a turnaround, there's a process called turnaround in construction, energy construction. BP and Shell tell the government they're not participating in that because their Train 1 is not feasible. Stuart Young beat the chest. NGC said, don't worry, man, we will fit the bill. We will do that. We will do the turnaround. We will pay for it. $250 million. Colm Imbert approved in a letter on February 25th, 2021. He approved an NGC investment of $250 million. It was called Atlantic LNG Train 1 Rescue Package. They wanted permission, hear this, for next $275 million. They said, go man, we have money, invest. Do you know that the board of directors asked the Minister of Finance to indemnify them from possible legal consequences of that decision? I think people forget that. I want to tell you something, I forget that. And I just read news and follow most things. I forgot that. The board said indemnify us, meaning make sure nobody never charge me and take me to court and thing. We don't want to go to court, so we sign a paper that nobody could carry us to court. The board said that because they knew they was doing something fishy. They knew they was involving themselves into something that was improper, unethical, and possibly unlawful. So they wanted to be indemnified. Today, Train 1 is dead. It is what is called decommissioned, dead. The NGC wasted hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayers' money when BP and Shell read the last rites and told them walk away. Stuart Young talking a few nights ago at the wake, he just called you know, sometimes you say Prime Minister-elect. Well, he's Prime Minister-select. He's Prime Minister-select, not Prime Minister-elect. So brothers and sisters, Stuart Young talking at the wake the other night, he said the former government, he meant us, the People's Partnership. He said the former government signed 17 production sharing contracts. No, he said his government signed 17 production sharing contracts and license in its times in office, which is a record. It wasn't his government at all. It was the government of the People's Partnership that signed 17 production sharing contracts and license when we were in office. That fella has gone loco. I think he's cuckoo. The fella talking about our government, you know, under Kevin Ramnarine, Kamla Prasad Bisesa and others, the partnership government signed 17 production sharing contracts and license, which was a record. Brothers and sisters, we signed the equivalent of 1.4 million hectares of aggregate. The NGC signed 6 gas sales contracts from 2010 to 2015. So where did Stuart Young get that from? Where they are now coming francoment, you know, to tell untruths because they are into propaganda. When we were there, the NGC invested money in communities to upgrade sports grounds, to build pavilions, to build community facilities for people. That is where our wealth must go, for the people, brothers and sisters. So don't let them come now and try to fool you in their last days. Today, everything has collapsed around them. Do you know as well, you have followed the news, US scraps foreign firms licensed to operate in Venezuela's oil industry. The US is telling you they are scrapping license if people do business with Venezuela. You all follow that? They put all their eggs in one basket, and guess what? The basket fall down. All the eggs in one basket, and it fall down. Dragon deal gone. They're gone, brothers and sisters. In national security, I don't have to tell you about that. You live it, brothers and sisters. Remember, we have said on the platform, Mrs. Prasad Bisasa has said, we will introduce new offenses for home invasion. That nonsense must stop. It must stop. This thing where people come and invade your home, the sanctity of your home, rob you, beat you, murder you, rape your family in front of your eyes. That must stop. And it will stop under the United National Congress. That I can tell you. We have Roger Alexander with us. We have Mr. Dolarchan with us. Brothers and sisters, distinguished officers, Mr. Johnny Abraham, Major Bess. We have now the manpower, we have the capacity, we have the expertise to deal with crime. We have it. Don't be fooled. And the majority of police officers in this country want a change. They want a change. They ball into. They ball into, brothers and sisters. We stand in support of the police service, of law enforcement. And when we get back there, we will depoliticize the security services and the intelligence community. They have made the police a weapon against the political opposition. They have made the intelligence community the plaything to spy on us. The other day, Major Best, the other day, I noticed my phone dead. Barry, you too? Well, look at that, Barry. Well, we have to ask maybe every MP. My phone suddenly charged 100%. 100%. Me and my phone charge. So, what are you laughing at now? Now, my phone charge 100%. I make a call or receive a call. I have a feeling it was Saddam. And then the phone go blank. Nothing I do, the phone cannot come on. I cannot see a message. I cannot, nothing. I get worried too bad. I send a message through the driver and so on to call Charmaine, call others in the office, tell them call up the person who help us. Oh. Mr. Embarrassing. Mr. Embarrassing. So, I am there without phone, and I send a message to the person who helps me with phones and so on. I say, boy, help me out quick, try to see what's happening. Lo and behold, in a minute or two after, the phone works. I call the fella, I say, boy, thank you. He said, boss, me I do nothing, you know. I say, I mean, you didn't fix it? He said, no, I don't get the message. And that is a dangerous thing, because when they are spying on you and they are retrieving information, copying from your phone, they take the phone off that you cannot use it. That is the PNM style, Tim, you're correct. So we must be on guard that they are politicizing the intelligence community. They hire a fella the other day as director. What is his name? Barrington, Arthur Barrington, yeah. That fella was the one man who do a report on guns, I believe, licensed firearm and so on. He alone do a report and sign it for Rowley. Rowley read it in Parliament. He said that's a secret report. The other guy, Hayden Prashad, Defense Force leader, Hayden Prashad, did not sign the report. So for signing, the man got a little 10 days. He got a 10 days for that. They have destroyed every area of immigration. 6,000 what? Oh, I thought it was 6,000 jobs they throw away again. Brothers and sisters, I'm now being told that this meeting at Debe Junction with thousands in the premise here tonight on the compound, we are now peaking at 6,000 live viewers. Give them a round of applause. And when this is reviewed, it will be 50,000. Do you know there's an immigration office in San Fernando? I don't know if Kevin has the picture. Number 2, I think, Knox Street, San Fernando. An immigration office in San Fernando has been closed since February. When they closed it, they said it was a sewer problem. The sewer problem was fixed in 2 days. You know what's the problem? A PNM problem. Well, it's the same thing as sewer, PNM, rat. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So it's a PNM problem, not a sewer problem. It's the same thing. They have not paid the rent to the landlord in over a year. They have not paid rent. But $450 million wasted and squandered at NGC. But they have not paid the rent. So they did not pay the rent today. Students who need their extension of their stay in Trinidad have to go Chaguanas, Port of Spain. If you need your passport stamp for an extension of your stay, residency interview, citizen interview, all those type of things. If you need a passport, you have to go Point Fortin, where it have a jigsaw puzzle for a highway. You have to go Chaguanas. You have to go Port of Spain. The people of San Fernando, I'm telling you, Dr. Dowlat, you must tell them, the passport office closed down because they did not pay rent. Over a month now. No, they didn't pay rent for over 12 months, but they closed down. They closed down over a month now. I can tell you in immigration, because we shadow national security, do you know the phone service in immigration is not working? The passport officers, immigration officers, cannot call on a landline because it's not working in several offices in Tobago and Trinidad. There are no phone. They have to use a personal phone in some cases to make a business call. That is where we are in this country, brothers and sisters. So brothers and sisters, these are some of the issues I raised with you. And don't let Siot Young come and fool you that he's some energy expert. Only remember the gas, the liquid plant they sell to Naikwan. When Naikwan came, I was in Parliament. I told them that I know these people with Naikwan. I know them from a long time. I just recognize conmen quickly. I know them. They just wear a jacket and tie and come in your office with a briefcase. And they just talk about $1 million and $100 million, 200. And then they just ask you for money to pay a maxi to go back home. I know them. When you open the briefcase, you see an express and a piece of roti. I know them. If you give me mud and water, I could make them. When the conmen come and tell them about Naikwan, Rowley went and opened that. You remember? He said, this is the future. We have a great future in gas, the liquids and so on, you know. All the assets they gave away for, I think, $10 million. But here the plan. He says, so as long as this plant operating, as long we getting 25% of the profits of the plant. You all remember that? This is Siot Young, you know. He's the energy expert, he claimed. Naikwan, Siot Young, energy expert, he claimed. They said you're getting 25% of the profit. Well, boy, we never see 1%, 2%, 5%, then nothing. They plug on the Naikwan plant and they nearly blow up San Fernando. That is what happened. I see the former member of parliament for Siparia here, Mr. Govindra Rupnarayan. We want to welcome him as well to Debe Junction. So they destroyed the facilities at Point Up here, gave it away to their friends. Do you know the owners of Naikwan, shareholders and so on, borrowed a lot of money on that? Anybody ever asked where the money went? If you borrow money, the money must go somewhere. Either you invest it in the plant or it go in some bank account or somebody's pocket. We will have to investigate where the money went that they borrowed for Naikwan. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Brothers and sisters, where did that go? Saddam tell you of a very appalling incident here earlier today. They are opening something in Plebdeco, you said. A commissioning, what is this? They cut in ribbon for some training facility, technology, a piece of equipment. They cut in the ribbon to open a piece of equipment. Then fellas will cut the ribbon one day to open the bonnet of a car. They cut in ribbon to open a piece of equipment. And the bill for doing that is $250,000, $250,000. And what that is for horse derbies. Is that it? Hors d'oeuvres. Sorry. Hors d'oeuvres they call it. That is when they're taking $250,000 to go and guzzle down whiskey, wolf down shrimps. That is their idea of hard work, you know, lining up by the buffet and toting a plate. That is laboring for the people. That is their idea of hard work, eating and drinking. We want to tell them on April 28th, the bar is closed. The kitchen is closed. On April 28th, no more free food for them. And if they're taking up doggy bags, we want to tell them, no, we go feed the dog. We like pets. Brothers and sisters, they have eaten out all the money. When we go back there, I told Mrs. Prasad Bisasa once, I said, Mom, please get some cobweb room. She said, what that for? I said, when we go back in the treasury, it's only cobweb. It have nothing there. They have spent, when we left this country, we left billions of dollars. We have the figures, brothers and sisters. We left billions and billions of dollars as in the Heritage Stabilization Fund. We left billions of dollars there. Today, they have bankrupted the country, brothers and sisters. They have bankrupted the country. I don't want to keep you very, very late tonight. We already passed our time. But I want to indicate to you, in closing, brothers and sisters, that we have a meeting for tomorrow night. And we want the bandwagon to roll into Chaguanas East. Wednesday, 2nd April. We are at Chaguanas East for our second community meeting. The address is corner of Gibson Trace and Foster Road, Debe Junction, Kunupia. So we are in tomorrow, Chaguanas East. The next night, I believe, we also have a town hall meeting dealing with crime. You will hear and read about that. So tomorrow night, Chaguanas East takes the spotlight on our platforms, brothers and sisters. We have given you our commitments. We have given you, brothers and sisters, good food for thought. We have told you about Stuart Young. I want to close by telling you that this country now is at a historic juncture. Our God, our Maker, has placed us at a historical juncture where we are called upon to save our country. Our country is worthy of rescuing. That's the first point. We are worthy of rescuing this country for our children, for our grandchildren, for generations to come. We cannot destroy this country. And today we are one moment away in time from removing the PNM and saving Trinidad and Tobago. This country needs leadership that is strong, leadership that is experienced. We need leadership with expertise. We need leadership with a track record. We need leadership with compassion. And we have the leader and the prime ministerial candidate in Kamla Prasad Bisasa. What a joyous occasion it will be after April 28, April 29 or thereabout, when Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo generates a call to the Member of Parliament for Siparia and invite her to attend at the residence of the President to take an oath of office as your next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. What an occasion that will be, and that is the occasion we must rise to. That is the occasion that we must mobilize and agitate and organize in every village, every trace, every town, every city. Brothers and sisters, Oropouche East will be returned. They close the ballot box what time? 6 o'clock? They start counting at 7 o'clock. At 7:15 more or less, we will declare Oropouche East as the first constituency to be returned. The PNM put up a candidate here. I don't know who is that. None of you know who is that. Poor fella, he accidentally fell into the lion's den. Now when you fall into a lion's den, what happens to you? It is not the fault of the lion, it is the nature of the lion. Do not blame the lion if he eats up. And if he destroys him, it is the nature of a lion to do that. So he fell into the lion's den, poor fella. We will take care of him. Some other party, I don't know, is threatening to put up a candidate or so on. I think we got to talk to that fella father or something, you know. We got to talk to Mousy. I told them, boy, go and talk to Mousy and talk to him, because these people are misled. They are misled. So we mustn't blame them. We must not blame the children. Sometimes the adults are the problem there. So we will deal with them on the election campaign. We will have a few meetings in Oropouche. We will support our candidates in San Fernando. We will support Naparima. We will support our brilliant sister Aina Ali of Princess Town. We will support Saddam Hussein. Brothers and sisters, we will support Rishi Sicharan. We will support Narendra Rupnarayan. And we will support Michael Dowlat. We will support all the candidates of the UNC and the coalition of interest, Mr. Ernesto Kiza in Point Fortin, Mr. Clyde Elder in Labre. Give them a round of applause. And on election night, on that great night, we will return with a majority in Trinidad, and we will return to the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Long live the great people of Oropouchis. I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. I thank you for the happiness and joy that you have given me, and I pledge myself to you. I love you all, Oropouchis. Forward ever, backward never. I thank you.